Here we're looking at the application for Wyze. This is your home for everything. However, right now we're going to look at Wyze Sense and Wyze Motion. I'm going to start with the Sense, and this one is attached to my basement door. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do with these Sense. The first operation that happens with it is it will notify you if something is open or closed. There's other magic that you can do, that you can trigger a Wyze plug or Wyze bulbs. In my case, I have this basement door triggering my Wyze bulbs here. Now, clicking on the Wyze Sense will show us the current status, which is closed. If this was open, it would show open, and it was closed at 1:10 p.m. because I went down into my basement to check on something. Here you can see a status or a log of all the actions that have happened with the Wyze Sense. In this case, open 6 seconds, open 4 seconds, open 4 seconds, and we just keep scrolling down and it will show. Now, you can kind of set this up to show specific information. It is a 14-day log, so just keep that in mind. If you're looking for something past 14 days, you won't be able to see that. Again, for me, I have this to trigger lights in my basement, so I don't really care how long something is open. However, if you have this on a door to the outside or a garage, you may want to know how long that door has been open. Coming up here to the right-hand corner is our sprocket icon, which is our settings. If we click on that, we can select this and change our name if we wanted to. I'm going to leave it as is. You've got your notifications. Clicking on this will allow you to alter the notifications. In my case, like I said, because that is to trigger a basement door, I don't necessarily want a push notification when the door is opened or closed. So I have that turned off currently. However, if we turn that on, we can receive a push notification for when it opens, when it closes, or if it is left open or if it is left closed for a specific amount of time. So if we say left open, we can select hours, minutes, even down to the second how long it's been open before it sends a push notification to you. In my case, like I said, I don't care about being notified because this is being used as a trigger for turning on those basement lights. Down here we have sensor video. What this will do is if a sensor is triggered, well, then you can set one of your cameras to start recording. So if I wanted to, I could say workshop, which means, hey, I'm open, I'll start taking video, just like the little picture says. I'm going to turn that off. So all it is a little check mark and you're good to go. In my case, the basement door and the workshop are far apart, so triggering that one, not so useful for me, but it may be for you. Schedule and automation. Now this is where this particular product shines. Like I said, if by default it will notify you when it's open or closed for a specific amount of time or just when it opens or closes. However, in my case, like I said, I have a rule set up that when the basement door is open, my lights go on. So let me show you. So enabled, basement door is opened, turn on this grouping of Wyze bulbs. Now to do that from scratch, we would come up here to the plus sign, click on that, and we would say either shortcut schedule or trigger a device. In my case, this was a trigger device, and add a trigger. So I am going to trigger, hypothetically, basement light 1 to turn itself on, and then I would hit save. Or if we come back here, we can set a schedule. Now the schedule, in my opinion, for the Sense and the Motion, not as useful because you really want to be triggering devices. So again, I want to add something. I will say bedroom light. So if my bedroom door opens up, I would turn on my light and I would hit save. So one of the problems with filming stuff ahead of time, especially when software is involved, things change. And one of the biggest complaints I had about the Sense, well, guess what? Wyze updated it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We're going to come in here to our Sense, we're going to come up here to settings, and then we're going to go to schedule and automation. Now, remember the biggest thing that I said I wish they would do under device triggers was specify a time in which these actions were to happen. Well, guess what? They fixed it. It does that now, so it's great. So name, optional. So this menu's changed a little bit, so we could give it a name if we wanted to. which we will just call it test. Device trigger, so we're going to say when basement door is open. Now you can, as I said before, has been open for a specific time, but we're going to say open, saves. So that's when basement door opens, action to do will be to turn on this singular light. So turn on that light, and then you can specify color, temperature, and all that. Hit save, and then this is the part that I wanted. If time, so we're going to say time, only run action if the trigger occurs between. So you can set a start time and an end time. So you could say between these two time periods, so 2:10 p.m. to 4:10 p.m. If it's not between these two times, it's not going to do this action. You can select days of the week and then hit save. This is great. Wyze keeps stepping up their game, and I'm happy that they do this because now you don't have to go out to IFTTT and set it up that way. Not everybody's going to have the patience to go and do that. So the ability to do that inside the Wyze app itself, kudos. I will give them credit for updating that, and again, as quickly as they did, because I didn't get a chance to get my review out in time before they changed that. So here's a little addendum to the app section. Sharing, if we click on that, again, you can add a person. You need their email address, and they need to have the Wyze app. And down here is device info. This will show you signal strength, battery life, etc., and other personal information. So we're not going to quite get into that. There's also delete device. Coming back, motion is very similar. Again, it shows right now that it's clear, meaning there is no motion. It was last cleared at 1:11 p.m. And then here we go. It's log, detected motion, detected motion. Now, this one I have set up at the top of my stairs, just sitting there looking straight ahead. So my original vision for this was to take it downstairs and door open at the top of the stairs, basement light turned on. This clears and the lights would go off. The problem I found was with the motion, if it doesn't detect any motion, it doesn't automatically clear. So if I open the door at the top of the stairs to grab cat litter, but I don't go downstairs in the basement and past this, it would not clear the room and the lights would stay on. So I moved this up and kind of have it leaning. I'll show you what it looks like. It's just sitting on a step stool facing the door, and when I open the door, it sees me and then clears it afterwards. So where I had it before in the basement didn't quite work out. That's not a fault against this. This is just me learning where I should have been placing these. Now, similarly, if we come up here, settings, device name, just like with the Sense, we can change it there. Notifications, just like that. However, right now, I have this one turned on for detect motion and becomes clear. And again, you can toggle these on and off depending on what you want. In fact, we're just going to turn off push notifications altogether. Sensor video, just like before, you can say, hey, I sense motion, start recording with, and that is my smart doorbell letting me know there's motion. But we're talking about the Wyze motion. So if your Wyze motion sensed motion, it can tell one of these devices that you have attached to your account to start recording. We're not going to do that. And just like before, schedule and automation. Down here, I have basement motion has been clear for 5 minutes, and then it will turn itself off. Now, again, to do that, plus sign, device trigger, add device to trigger. We come down to my group of lights, which is not showing up because I already have it set to trigger. That's why. So I would say this bulb, and I would turn it off after motion is cleared. And then you would just hit done. And that's the scheduling aspect. And again, the scheduling and triggers are what make these devices so unique and impressive. Again, sharing, clicking on that. You can share, need their email address, they need the app. And just like before, device info, battery status, signal status, serial number, MAC address. So we're not going to get into that. So that has been a look at the app for the Wyze sensor and Wyze motion.